Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. It's a Monday night. Let's see how the market looks as we head towards the end of summer here. So here we go. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. How is everybody tonight? And let's hop on over. Look at the heat map. It actually was up most of the day and then came down towards the end. And we do have some big time economic things happening tomorrow. The CPI, as you can see, the PPI on Thursday. And isn't Pal speaking at some point? I thought so. I'm not exactly sure what to ask Luis Rodriguez about that. But anyway, let's go through the market, see what's going on, what's happening here, and what we're going to get into. It is bipolar markets coming up. And again, just finish the end of the summer right here. Don't push anything. Don't get too crazy. And it's going to get good. You can see it setting up. Whether it takes a couple weeks in September, that'll be fine as well. It's not a big deal, and then it's going to get running. I have a feeling October, November, December should be cruising. So that is what it's going to look like. And how are you, Luis Rodriguez and Laptop Travel? Trump extended the tariff suspension on China for another 90 days via executive order. He thanks us for our attention in this matter. So if you want to see some markets get hopping up tomorrow, what is the futures doing? Anyone tell me? I'll look at the Yahoo Finance. They generally have it on there. Let me take a look and see real quick what the futures look like. I didn't even look. I was looking at the cannabis news, and Trump was talking about rescheduling that as well. And the futures are green a little bit, 0.05 on the S&P 500, 0.04 on the Dow, 0.06 on the NASDAQ, and it looks like they just started to cruise up there. So there you go, and that doesn't look bad. And he says, Luis Rodriguez just posted it up. I have just signed an executive order that will extend the tariff suspension on China for another 90 days. All other elements of the agreement will remain the same. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, right there. So that is what he posted out. And you'll see the markets probably bounce up on that news tomorrow. So that is what we're looking at. And you always have one tweet away from the markets going one way or the other. So it's amazing how nobody ran the country for 4 years, and now all of a sudden someone runs the country 24/7. And we're not complaining, that's for sure, because look where the markets are at their all-time highs. And this VFF right here is a cannabis company. I recently just did a high on Wall Street about this company. It was down at $1.07. So find out where $1.07 was right here. And it was probably like right around here is when I did my report a few weeks ago, and it had been pulling back. I remember I said, just let it bottom out. It hit the trend line, and bam, there you go. So good evening, Chris. And I did just do that on my high on Wall Street. And like I said, the cannabis stock's looking pretty good. And we'll go through some of them real quick. We'll just take a look at MSOS to start it off. And it is cruising up. Tilray was running up there. That's one I talked about before on the small cap and on here. And here's CGC. I just did my high on Wall Street on that. They just beat their earnings, and it did look good. It went up some more today. And how about Curaleaf? That's on the OTCers now, so you'd have to go over here for Curaleaf, and there you are, CURLF, and that jumped up today pretty well. And that's the biggest MSO, and they are an OTCer because they couldn't keep their price up. And there you go with a few cannabis ones to start it off. And let's go right through our list real quick. We'll see what's going on, what we're getting into tomorrow. There are some good setups, guys. I'm telling you, I saw a few great ones. And I'll just tell you one right off the bat because I've been looking at it, and I don't know what page that was supposed to be. But how about this right here? Intel, guys, is setting up right here, looking pretty good. Has all kinds of support lines and resistance lines and the 20 and everything else. Looks like it bottomed out down there at that 1897, and you're in the 21s right now. So we'll be looking at that one, and it's looking pretty good for good old Intel. So Here we go. And let's go through our list and see what's going on. This Raya right here is still setting up, guys. This is a small cap China one. You want to see this thing popping tomorrow? Watch this with that news. That tariff thing, that 90-day tariff suspension or whatever the heck I was just saying. Watch this thing because it is setting up. It had bottomed out, and that looks really good and can get cruising right there. So I would be watching that. GIBO I had on the night note and was saying that it should be trying to get set up right here. It was looking pretty good. It did run up today, so you can keep an eye on that GIBO for tomorrow. We'll see if it wants to run up a little bit more right there. A little bit of pullback in the after hours. Nothing too crazy. And ORIS did pull back, and it is dipping down right there. So we'll see. It almost looks like a little healthy pullback because it was out of the top or out of the basement right there the other day, then pulled itself back down and now pulled back almost healthy after that run up. So we'll see. It may bounce back tomorrow. That's another China one. So we'll be keeping an eye on it and see if it wants to bounce right back up. If it gets out of that basement, it's going to run up to that 20 right there and be a good pop. So we'll be watching ORIS and keep an eye on that in the morning. Open door. This one's running up. Remember, I was saying it looked a lot better, and I would say 18% higher. Looks a lot better today. So we were going over that. And QMCO was dipping down right here. And I mean, I can't tell. They look like they're trying to set up, and at the same time, they're still trying to pull back. They look like they bottomed out right there. I threw it on the list so we could go through the rest of the computer hardware and quantum ones right here. And like I said, this one looks like it tried to bottom out there. So we'll see if it gets set up. Let's just run through the other ones like RGTI real quick and see. That was up 54 cents. Not looking bad. Isn't there earnings tomorrow? August 12th, they are tomorrow for RGTI. So we'll be watching that one closely. And QUBT right here was up a little bit and looks like it's trying to get set up. Look at that curl up. Is it going to get through? I mean, it looks like it wants to right there. So I would say it's trying. And if it doesn't, it's just going to have a soft little pushback and then get set up after that. So not looking bad there. And your QBTS is your D-Wave Quantum, and it's right below the trend line on that 50 and not looking bad to set up. So has a little bit of time, but not looking bad right there. And of course, QTUM is the Defiance Quantum ETF. And this thing is right under that 20 right there. It did jump up over it. It's just pulling back ever so slightly on the chart, making a bunch of room to get set up. So they're not exactly ready, but they're not looking terrible. And IONQ right there was up this today, and it was looking pretty good. And that one looks like it does want to run. So definitely keep an eye on IONQ right there because that was looking good and it did jump up today. You know what else is looking all right? LAES, and this one's not looking bad either. LAES, and I saw this one today. We went over it last night and it was moving up a little bit right there. Another semiconductor one, and that looks like it's trying to get set up. I have it on the list already and it is getting set up right there. So keep an eye on that one as well. And let's look at that Z space right here, ZSPC, and that is dipping down. Remember, we're just going to wait for the earnings right there on Thursday, and then we'll take a good look at it. So we'll see what that's doing right there. And there you go with some quantum and computer hardware ones, and we'll be keeping an eye on them. They are getting set up right there. And let's keep on cruising right through our list here. And Lockheed Martin was up a little bit, and this thing is setting up. Look at this guy just getting curled up here. Looks like it wants to curl up a little bit better. Looks like it came down in the after hours. Didn't even notice that. LMT 424. It's at 425. It doesn't look too bad to me right there. So I'll look at it in the morning and we'll see what it wants to do. And how about Northrop Grumman right here was trying to stay in the top. We'll see. Could be pulling back there to get set back up. And Huntington Ingalls was kind of jumping around on the 20. And we'll see if that one can stay up. So nothing crazy with our aerospace and defense. And usually that's a good sign. And here is your aerospace and defense bull ETF right here. Defend, it was getting set up, but looks like it's starting to pull back. Could have some pullback to the 50 right there, which would be a good thing, meaning that the country doesn't look like it's under attack. So that's always nice. And here's that Philip Morris, and it was up a little more today, and it looks like it wants to try to stay up a little bit. Just watch for any pullback real quick, as you can see that look. And it did jump up the last few days for PM, and we had talked about that one. And UNH right here is looking pretty good, I must say. Look at that curl up. Is it going to get through the MACD right there? I'm not exactly sure. We have to see how tomorrow opens up. It's an interesting look. It kind of looks like it wants to after a bunch of a little guys right there, but it could have one more bounce off right there as it gets set up for these last 2 weeks, like I said. And then it looks like the market wants to do something as it's approaching after summertime, and these 2 weeks are generally slow. And we have to see exactly. I got to see how this thing's playing itself out, because it keeps jumping around here. And then you get our 90-day tariff lift off China. So that should bump up the market and all kinds of things. Crypto's ripping. So the market is in a crazy spot. We generally never see it like this. And you're getting to that bubble territory right there. So it is something interesting to be looking at. And I have been keeping an eye on it just to try to get a good idea of what it wants to do. Oscar's going up right here, and this looks good. They had their earnings back there a few days ago, and that thing looks like it's curling up. You can see the 20 is going to run up on that. So we had been looking at it at the bottom there, and it is looking pretty good. GRYP right here is going to get set up, guys. You can see it right here. These two lines are going to connect, and it's getting set up right now. So that's one that you want to keep an eye on, that's for sure. And that is the Trump crypto family, something in maybe the digital mining. I don't even know what they do, guys. They have like 9 companies that they have. And who the hell knows what's going on, but you better believe they're all probably going to be popping like crazy, including this PEW grab a gun. Look at this thing getting set up, trying to roll right. That's a bottom look right there in a reversal. So that looks pretty good to try to continue to run up after a dip down. It ran up the other day for us, pulled back, and now it looks like it wants to roll again. So there's your grab a gun. And of course, our PSQH, they're involved in this one, I think, as well, right? Laptop Travel. And this thing is getting set up. They have earnings coming up tomorrow. And like I said, just keep an eye on it for that. And look at this thing getting set up. Our 20 may have to come down. It was getting to be a perfect setup. That's why I said you have to wait for them earnings, because you couldn't tell exactly the way it was going to look. And I would still wait. We'll see tomorrow morning what that wants to look like. And we'll go from there. Let me just make a little mark right there that's an earnings right there, because I have to look at that one in the morning. That one's an interesting one. That's for sure right there for PSQH. And yeah, earnings tomorrow. So we'll be looking at that in the morning. And how about Net Capital right here, NCPL? And this took a nice dip. Let it come down to this trend line right here. It took a nice 20% dip. Perfect. 20 is bringing it down. I like it. It was trying to set up right there. Wasn't ready. And that's why I've been telling you is be patient right here, because you can see these dips, and it's a beautiful opportunity. So tomorrow morning is CPI, that's for sure. And then what is it? The PPI is on Thursday morning. So whoop, I didn't mean to hit that one. I meant to hit right here. There was nothing today. Your CPI tomorrow, PPI Thursday. I just wanted to make sure I was saying that right. So there you go. And like I said, the market will be trying to bounce around one way or the other. We'll see if that CPI comes in hot or if it comes in pretty gentle. And obviously, Trump must know something. It must be trying to come in a little hot, because he's letting the tariffs already and that kind of thing. So maybe that's a little ease into it. I'm not exactly sure. So we'll see tomorrow, that's for sure. As a matter of fact, let's just look at the news stories. Asian stocks rise on on the China tariff truce extension, and Trump's tax law is even better for rich people than originally thought. Here's how much more the top 10% stand to gain. July inflation report expected to show prices accelerated. I'd say my gas and electric bill accelerated. Holy cow, guys. It like doubled in a month. And it's definitely Governor Murphy's fault. I'm not going to lie. That dude's a moron. You know, I've said it before. He's a complete idiot. And he's gotten rid of all the all the ways to make fuel and power. When he got elected, we were actually running on like our energy in New Jersey was perfect. It was running absolutely stable. We were getting some fuel and some energy from Pennsylvania, which is right next to us, so it was obviously convenient and cheaper. And yeah, it was obviously running well. This moron comes in, he cuts out all the coal, everything that you're supposed to be that was running right to make our energy prices to be stable and be actually pretty cheap, because we live in an area where everything's expensive, and of course our energy prices are absolutely astronomical too if you look at them throughout the country. And then they just doubled them. But anyway, so this moron does that, and then they go and try to do all this green nonsense, because you know how well that really works. And then they try to do all this offshore, them windmills and stuff that everyone thinks are killing all the whales and everybody else. That's all just washing up on our oceans and our beaches. And honestly, guys, I'm not even gonna lie. They started like 100 of these projects. I'm not even kidding. To this day, they haven't completed one of them because they've run out of money for every single one. They cost astronomical amounts of money. And then obviously, like all the animal groups got involved and they started suing because whales were just washing up like every week on the Jersey Shore and right along the East Coast, exactly where they started putting these things. What a coincidence. And they didn't seem to think it was bothering anything. I mean, they're complete idiots, guys. And then our energy bills get just astronaut, like just soared. They went from $400, which is crazy. I mean, $400 in a month for your energy bill is pretty wild. And my house is super insulated. I mean, I put my thermostat on 73. It's 73 upstairs and barely has to run that much because I just went nuts and just insulated the hell out of my house myself. And none of it's that blown in foam stuff. I have a little trick that I do. Obviously, I used to do this stuff, and we'll talk about that later. I'll post a picture of what you do to actually really insulate your house if you really want it to be the right way. Anyway, and so yeah, this thing $800, guys, for my 1 month bill, and and I'm not kidding. Like everyone around here, their bills are $800. I posted it on my local Facebook page, and obviously had like tons of comments, and people were saying that theirs were over like $1,000. So I'm like, holy cow! And I believe it. Again, my air conditioner barely has to run, and it is like freezing cold in my house because I have it insulated pretty well. And so yeah, some people's houses, you walk in and they're, they have drafty windows or whatever the case is. Guess what? They are eating their air conditioner bill. I mean, their energy bills up, because holy cow, I can't even imagine. I don't care what kind of high efficiency you have. It is absolutely insane. So I don't know if everybody else in the country has got to experience that, but I know Murphy's a moron. I've told you guys that before. The guy's an idiot, and he doesn't even understand how anything operates. So yeah, he screwed up the whole state, and now I got an $800 energy bill for 1 month. How crazy is that, guys? So welcome to New Jersey. And Luis Rodriguez said he's sitting there in the dark watching the show, because I'm telling you, when I told him, he goes, oh man, I don't even want to look at my bill, because we have the same energy company, PSE&G. They service most of New Jersey, and I think they do a little bit in New York as well, or Long Island somewhere. I don't even know. But holy cow, guys, you want to talk about crazy. I mean, I didn't really use that much more energy or anything, electric or anything else. So yeah, imagine opening up that and seeing an $800 bill. You're like, what is that right? And yeah, it was right. And no, it's not right, but somehow they figured out that it's okay. And so yeah, crazy stuff right there. So I guess be prepared, because who knows? I guess it can happen in any state. So I don't know how that long that's going to last, but I can tell you what, people are in an uproar right now in the state and everywhere around me, because everybody's getting their bills right about now. So I know I saw my buddy had told me, I guess about 2 days ago, it was like right before the weekend. I guess he had gotten his bill and said it was $800, and it's like paying for rent in a basement. You're not kidding, Luis Rodriguez. $800 is insane. That's enough for a McMansion. I'm telling you guys, that's just my PSE and G bill, and it's so insane. That's why when I tell you guys, it's insane to live around here. I'm not kidding. It's absolutely astronomically insane. Luis Rodriguez, he lives in an area where it's crazy too, and the election can't come soon. I think I really think Murphy just this definitely will send you right out of the door, and all the Democrats following, because they will be packing their bags and leaving real quick with these kind of bills. Everybody's like, holy shit, this is crazy. Like, nobody can believe it when they open up their bills. So I'm just letting you guys know that's going on in New Jersey. And I don't know if it's happening anywhere else, but it's definitely kind of crazy. An illegal efficiency apartment in New Jersey, sure, it's like 1,400 to 1,800. Yeah, you're not kidding. You can go rent like an apartment, like you guys are saying. It's like the price of something, guys. It's crazy, $800. So your buddy pays less than $800 for car insurance in Delaware, and that's probably for the year, Luis Rodriguez. And yeah, in New Jersey, that's even crazy too. Everything is just absurd, guys. But anyway, that's New Jersey talk for you, and bills. And just let me know if you guys want to chime in and tell me if your bills or your gas bill doubled as well. And you know what else I did real quick today? Because we haven't used this in probably over a year. I'm telling you, my wife's been telling me, will you go to Comcast and take that stuff back and just cancel the TV? I don't watch TV. You guys know that. And they have like every streaming service. Nobody turns on a television. The one television that had a box hadn't been turned on in over a year. I'm not even exaggerating, because it was my old office, and it's now the Turtles room and like a toy room for Dougie to play in. So that room, I'm telling you, it's been at least a year that the TV's even been turned on. And it just had a box set up, and paying for that stupid thing. And in the main box, nobody turns these things on. Like, they don't even get used at all. So I finally was like, all right, my wife was like, go to Comcast and take that thing back. I'm like, okay. So I took the one back, and then I was talking to the dude, and yeah, so I definitely cutting the cord on that, because again, we don't even use it. It's not even like we watch it every once in a while. We never watch it. The only time I think I ever put it on, you guys know, I put on like a game on the iPad next to me, which I could easily stream from some service, and keep you in the loop when there's like a big game on. And that's about as much TV as I watch, because I'm usually doing stuff like this or just busy doing something, and I don't really care about TV. So that I am cutting the cord on that too, and that's going to be a big savings. So I just been kind of giving Comcast a bunch of money. The dude that was taking care of that today for me, I'm telling you, he probably thought I was homeless. When I'm telling you, I go to the mall, I just dress in like sweatpants and a t-shirt, and dude's like talking to me, and then I'm just like, hey, I forget how I was like, he was asking me something, I forget what he asked me, and I was like, oh nah, dude, I just do stuff online like stock trading, and I just showed him. And then he was like, dude, I think I don't know how we talked about it, but he said that he was trying to get into it, and I was like, dude, just follow me. I do like 2 shows a day. So Nolan, if you're listening, what's up? Because he said he was going to follow. I know he followed me right when I was sitting there. But if you're getting into stocks, Nolan, I'm telling you, you're at the right place. As you can see, a bunch of people are here, and we go through the market pretty extensively, and our New Jersey gas bills as well. So welcome to the show if you're listening there, and appreciate it. And thanks for helping me out today. And I have to go back and take back the other box tomorrow. And yeah, we won't have cable anymore. How cool is that? I probably should have did that like a year ago, because I'm telling you, nobody turns on these TVs. There's just multiple TVs in the house that just don't even get turned on. It's insane. Anyway, back to the show. So car insurance doubled. Yo, Chris, that doubled your PSC and G bill. I think I told you guys, my town decided that we just needed an extra sewer bill. So they just like literally doubled the sewer bill. And not only that, we pay like an MUA one. So we not only paid a town sewer, we paid a county sewer, but then the town decided we needed to double that. So they just added a second bill, and they're like, oh, we'll give you one at the first of the year and it's like 6 months in. And yeah, it's like the same bill. So they just doubled the sewer, and our water bill is like astronomical now. Your gas bill just doubled, car insurance doubled. Has anything not doubled recently? Like, what the hell's going on here? And I have no idea, but can Trump get these bills under control before we get any further into anything else? Because I think it's getting a little crazy here, especially in New Jersey. It's absolutely astronomical. I know California is crazy too. If you guys, someone lives out there, they got some craziness going on. So I guess if you're on the East Coast in certain areas and the West Coast on certain areas, because you don't want to be in New York City either. That's an expensive spot to live as well. Oh yeah, me and Luis Rodriguez, we live right in the heart of like everything being super expensive. I'm not gonna lie, and I'll be honest with you. When you have relatives come and visit you, and then you go to the stores, and or if you go out on vacation, everything's like way cheaper. If you just like go to a lake house or something, you're like, yeah, you don't have to buy food and stuff to take with you. It's cheaper there than it is around here. It's actually nice to go to them stores. You're like, damn, everything's so cheap around here, and people are looking at you like you're insane. But yeah, if you have relatives come in and they're from like around there or anywhere else, they're like, look at the prices. Like, you have to pay for everything because they're in like shock, guys. Like, they don't even understand. The prices are so much higher around here than everywhere else that they're like, what? Like, how much is it? And you're like, I got it. Don't worry about it. They're not used to paying stuff like that. So yeah, it just makes you numb to money, I think. You're like, I'm not even like, you go to the ice cream parlor with like you and your kid, and it's like $20, 20 something dollars just for ice cream. And I'm not even exaggerating. Like, everything, I just hand out money. It says like $20, $100, $20, $100, everything. It's like to walk out the door, it feels like it cost me like $200 to walk off my front steps anymore. It's absolutely absurd. But yeah, like just to go to the ice cream, but everywhere just costs like $100 or 20 something dollars. It's crazy, guys, what goes on. So anyway, let's go back to the show. Enough of the bills and how expensive it is, but yeah, it's absolutely insane. And yeah, laptop travel, he went over to Southeast Asia, is cheap and typically safe for expats. South America, be careful. We like Costa Rica. Costa Rica is pretty nice, obviously, but yeah, gasoline's $4 to $5 a gallon on the West Coast. That's absolutely crazy as well. And laptop travel said for $149 every 6 months, he has 16,000 channels, and he's not kidding. IPTV. What the heck's IPTV? I don't even know what that is. You have to let me know. I don't even like look at the TV, to be honest with you, so it doesn't even matter. And there you go. And he's about to go nomad, live half a year in Asia and half the year in South America. And yeah, Chris, I'm telling you just want to move away from New Jersey as fast as possible because it's absolutely insane. So anyway, we'll get back to the show. And like I said, can you imagine paying just your $800 for 1 month for your electric bill? And it's obviously not gas, it's pure electric because we're not running the heat. So how much gas do I really use? I mean, we cook each night, but it's not like I'm using my flamethrower and torches all day. So yeah, the gas is like nothing. And the electric bill is like, okay, say the gas was like $50, and then the electric bill is like the other 750. It's like, how much electric am I really using here? And like I said, it's just not my house. It's everybody on the block, even the people with solar panels on their roof. Their bills are astronomical too. They're like, why do I have solar panels up here? So it's all crazy, guys. Anyway, let's get back to this and see what's going on with Gush. Let us right into oil and gas right here. And so, yeah, that's what I was leading us right into with that long talk about how much Governor Murphy's a moron. But anyway, here we go with Gush, and it's pulling back here, honestly, real nice now. Looked like it was setting up great. It still is. It's going to bounce off this bottom and get ready because that 20 is going to come down for it, and it's going to be in a very, very bullish trend right there. You'll see this start coming down. It's just going to take like an extra week or two, and I think the entire market's taking an extra week or two, and just let it be very patient right here. and let them pull back, do whatever they want to do in the next few days, in the next week or so. And then it's going to be time to really zero in. And like I said, there's some good setups that you can play in the meantime. But some of these that are questionable, just let them pull back or do whatever they want to do. They're not going to really run like crazy. You can tell which ones are set up to run, and the ones that you can't really tell, I think just let them pull back, to be honest. RBNE, this is starting to curl up, did jump up a little bit today and then did pull back there. So we'll see tomorrow, but it does look like it's trying to set up right there. Not looking bad. And how about TMDE right here? What's that one doing? Making a little base. Look at this. This is one of them ones that's trying to get through and trying to push its way up. And it certainly will. That'll be its bottom right about here and make a base. I can't see it really bouncing down hard, to be honest with you. Check this one out tomorrow, guys. TMDE. Laptop travel and 4 a.m. Warriors right there. That could be a good one. And how about our OCGN pulling back a little bit today? But I'll tell you what, this guy is getting set up to do something. You can see it. Here we go. It's getting to be bullish in that 20s coming down for it. So keep an eye on OCGN right here. And again, a little bit of pullback. Look for a better price action right there as it gets set up for a few days. And that is going to be ready. And how about that? BMNR was running up quite nice today. I would say got up to what, $70 right there. BMNR. And there you go, $57.99 up to 70, and that was on our list right there. So how about that one for us? And we did like that BMNR, and it was looking good. SBET's another one of these crypto treasury jobbers, and this one ran up real quick and then did pull back, but another one getting set up right there and gonna run up. So just keep your eye on SBET, and we'll be watching it. You can see how it ran up, pull back, just hitting that MACD, a little healthy pullback there. Not too bad, but going to get set up. And UPXI is another one of these that has just getting set up as well. It had been running up right there. A little bit of pullback. It's over the MACD. Let it pull back and roll off right there. And that will be set up to be pretty good. So TMDE was an old pick back months ago. And that one is looking good along with that RBNE. They both kind of started right around the same time. And both of them are energy ones or gas and oil ones or whatever. And both of them are starting to run. That RBNE ran up pretty big. I guess a month or two ago, probably 2 months ago, whenever, but this one's getting set up to run up. So yeah, keep an eye on them for sure right there. And let's go to CORZ, good old Coors, which is Core Scientific, and this is getting set up. We said it was looking pretty good. It was up a little today and looks like it wants to continue its way up pretty slow. Interesting look how it opened and closed right there around the same price. So we'll look at it, but it still does look real good right there. You can see the 20 rolling up, and it's in a bullish state. And then once it gets up here into the 18s, then it's going to really pop off of there. So that one's got like another $3.50 to go before it really wants to do something. So you might want to keep an eye on that. CORZ and XXII, a cannabis one, guys, with earnings. Remember I said keep an eye on it till them earnings, and they are Thursday right there. And this one's getting set up. That's in the basement. So especially with the cannabis news, and all of them running right here. It goes under a tobacco one, but I know they do something in cannabis. I'm not exactly sure what the hell they do, but anyway, we'll be keeping an eye on that as it approaches the earnings right there on Thursday. And let's look at this one because Uber wants to drive up some more. We were saying it yesterday, and Uber's looking pretty good right there. So I would keep an eye on Uber in the morning because Uber could be driving some more, and it is looking good. So keep your eye on that one. I like Uber right there. And how about LLY? That little Ellie Lilly or whatever was bouncing up a little and looks like it's trying to make a little base right here and possibly bouncing back up. It was up $10. Remember that huge dip right there on the earnings, and now it's going to be a lot better. I don't know if it's even going to get out of the basement immediately. Let's make sure it's going to curl up. You still have some time on this, so you could be just getting that initial curl up. We'll look at it tomorrow. I don't think you're missing the boat on Lily just yet. I think you have some bounce around. Could be one that you could trade around here, but it is an expensive one. So, but I'm telling you, it will get back up into the sevens. just not ready immediately. Just put it that way for LLY right there. And let's look at OST right here because I do like this one as a matter of fact. And we had looked at it, it recently split. We were looking at it right before it split. It was coming down. It recently split right there, 1 for 25, and it started to curl up today. It was up a little bit. OST, we were looking at it last night as well, and it's not looking bad right there. So you can keep an eye on OST because that looks like it's curling up at the moment. And TTEC, I don't know what they do, TTEC, Information Technology Services, but this one ran up off the earnings. It came up and was dipping down, then started to cruise right out of the basement. And it looks pretty good to try to run up a little bit higher there. So it did run up the last 2 days. We were looking at it. It kept the momentum, and now it's trying to cruise back up there. So keep an eye on TTEC. We'll see what it wants to do tomorrow. And it did run up there Friday and today some more. So not looking bad. And let's see what's going on with our Soundhound right here because that one was looking good running up today. And that looks like it wants to keep the momentum. So I would keep an eye on Soundhound for a momentum play. We had been looking at it way before, and I know Laptop Travel had done a big report about Soundhound and liked it, and there you go. It's running up pretty healthy right now. Had a little pullback there, but obviously got set up, and boom, that one's running up, looking good. And I remember I told you guys that this one looked good yesterday in the coking coal sector, and it was up today. I know that SXC, remember I was saying it, and look at it tomorrow. It's still looking pretty good right there in the coking coal. So that one was cruising. And what was the other one? I forget what the heck it is. AREC right there did spike up, but that could come down. We'll look at it. It's hitting that top right there. We'll see if it definitely wants to get into the top or not. But the other one looks pretty good right there. SXC right there. So keep an eye on that. We were talking about it last night. It was looking pretty good. It did run up. LAES, we already looked at it. It was looking pretty good. So keep an eye on that tomorrow. We were already talking about it. And QH right here has that big fish hook. So might want to keep an eye on this one. It's just getting ready to curl up right here. QH. And that's a software company in China. And that could be cruising. So that's another penny China stock right there that could get rolling. And how about that of old DVLT right here? And this one, we were talking about it last night. Someone mentioned it had dipped down right there, trying to get out of that basement. It's starting to curl up. Has a few days to get set up right here. So you can keep an eye on it, see if it comes down anywhere into that 38 area. It's at 42 right now. So there you go with that of old DVLT. And let's take a look and see what Green Lane. Remember, I told you guys this was looking pretty good last night. Well, that ran up 75 cents today or more. And there you go. It's looking pretty good. And I don't know how we found that one. I forget how we even looked at it. Was it on the scanner or something? I don't remember. But Green Lane cruising up there. And we did see that last night, as a matter of fact. So that one was looking good. We went over this one too, UVV right here. And that was setting up and looking pretty good. And that ran up today over $1 right there, over 2%. So UVV, another tobacco one, not sure exactly what they do, but it was cruising right along and looking pretty good last night when we looked at it, and it moved up tonight. And AppLovin right here, APP was jumping up, and it may come up here and hit that resistance up at that 487. You're at 460. It looks like it might want to right there for good old AppLovin right there. And it had been cruising up the last couple days. We had been talking about it. Luis Rodriguez mentioned it. And how about CoreWeave right here, CRWV? And that thing is cruising up, setting up, about to get over to 50. Their earnings are tomorrow. So CoreWeave could get cruising off of them earnings. It is looking pretty good. And this one is a good one right there, software infrastructure. So let me mark down. They also have earnings right there to keep an eye on. And how about that Chanson one? CHSN right here, Chanson International. This is a penny one. We had looked at it before. It took a nice dip down. We were just kind of waiting for it, and it is getting set up right there. 20's coming down. So you might want to take a look at Chanson right here. Look at it running up 9 to 11, and that's where it's at. So it did run up in the after hours. How about that? And it does look good. So keep your eye on CHSN. Remember, we were looking at that before and it ran up for us, I think, right about here. And now it's going to set back up and run again. So there you go, a chance. And let's look at that BTAI because we were looking at BioXL and this ran up like 50% more today. It's in the top and it just blasted off up there. I'd be careful at this point, but that was a good one that we had mentioned a few days ago and it last week, and we were watching it run up last week and it ran up some more today right there. So there you go with BTAI. And let's see what GPRE is doing right here. Let me type it in. GPRE right now is Green Plains, a chemical company. That's trying to get curled up pretty hard right there. At least it was today. Let me take a better look. And yeah, it doesn't look bad. I would say even if it doesn't get through the MACD at the moment, it is a pretty hard curl up and hitting the top. I mean, that's a toughie right there. It does look like it wants to try to jump up there and keep that momentum. I definitely have to look at that in the morning. Let me jot it down real quick. GPRE, is that what it is? GPRE Green Plains. I'll have to look at that one right there, Luis Rodriguez. We'll check out Disney as well, and let's see what else is going on. Let's see. Holy cow! The house that Laptop Travel toured was $20,000 USD down, and payments of $420 a month. I would like that. 20 grand down, and you're $420 to smoke on. That's like, well, it's like half of my electric bill right there. So that's not too bad. And so yeah, crazy stuff right there. And holy cow, yeah, that's a guarded community in South Asia, guys. Ready? Listen to this. A guarded community in South Asia, 6-bedroom mansion, solar and solar car, no electricity, gas bills, house for $198, so less than $200,000 USD. That's crazy, guys. And yeah, that's insane. Just the no gas and electricity bills. And I mean, we can have solar panels on our roof, but I'm not gonna lie. So here's the scheme with that. Unless you really buy out the solar panels outright, around here, you basically sign away all the um what the heck? I can't even think of the word. All the fuck, my brain doesn't work sometimes. The things that the incentives that make you get like all the money back, the rebates, that's what I'm trying to think of. You sign away all the rebates to the company that installs it. They get all the money from the state, and you just get some solar panels on your roof for like 20 years, and that you make smaller payments for. So you make a smaller payment, and so technically, unless you really buy them outright, then you're still kind of paying for them. And then if anything breaks after them 20 years, and they're only going to last you about 20 years, and yeah, they start breaking, and you're going to be on the hook for fixing all that stuff, and you're going to have to replace them all, and that's not going to be cheap. So you got to think about the cost of it all, and you have to have a new roof, which I definitely have. But once you start putting solar panels on, they're drilling holes in your roof, and them guys, they don't really care too much. So I've seen a lot of issues with solar panels around here, and that's why I choose not to get them. And again, my neighbor has them, and said to her the bill is still astronomical. So anyway, pretty wild stuff. And does your electric company pay back if you feed the back to the grid? Well, that's exactly. I didn't even see your comment or a question there, Laptop Travel, but basically that's how it works around here. So if you own your solar panels, then yes, they will pay you, but you obviously are putting out some money to own them. But at least you own them, and you can get all them incentives, the rebates, and everything like that. You will kind of pay for them. Not all of it, but over a couple of years. But if you just kind of finance them through the companies, then they're the ones that make all the money, guys. They get all the stuff from the state, and like I said, they just slap them things on your roof, and then they basically lease them to you, and you pretty much pay for them over 20 years. So you don't really, I mean, you might get a little bit of a lower bill overall, but it's you can have a lot of issues. So, and then 20 years down the road, you're going to end up fixing all that stuff and doing something, and it's going to cost you a fortune. So anyway, that's how it works around here. So it's not really that lucrative to have them in my area. I'm not going to say that solar's not a good idea in some places, but in New Jersey, they figure out every which way to hose you. I'm not going to lie. And that's how it works. And I kind of know because I used to be an inspector, so I know the exactly how they work and what they do. And they also have a lot of fires. They were in the beginning, they were causing a lot of fires because the electrical work, even though they have their own separate panel, electrical panel and all. It's a lot of wiring up there, and you get squirrels and stuff that like to live underneath of them, and then they bite the wires, and then sometimes they can cause some fires up there because the squirrels and animals make nests, which is usually like dry leaves and pine needles, which are pretty flammable. So you start ripping them wires, and you'll usually find like a shocked squirrel up there, and then a fire starts. And yeah, that happens pretty often too. So you got to be careful. I know that the squirrels are always trying to make the nest in my neighbor's solar panel, and I got to like get this long pole from the pool and like try to get the stuff out of there. And it happens every single year. Once they make a nest in there one year, they're coming back the next year, and good luck trying to get them out of there. So yeah, you just hope that they don't really bite through the wires. You're like, come on, squirrels, I'll feed you down here. Don't chew my wires up. So anyway, that is solar panel and everything else. And Hawaii's so good to homeowners with solar. And yeah, that would be nice around here, but they're really not good around here. And they put them up in like big fields and stuff. And like I said, the homeowners, you don't really get that good of a deal on it. So I know a lot of people that have it, and you get it, and some people are happy. Most people are just like, it's whatever. So, and the other thing is, it's hard to sell your house when you have solar panels because you have to sell that solar panel system, and somebody has to be wanting to take it on. So if you're going to be trying to sell your house at any point, the solar panels, you got to be thinking about that as well. Because again, if you're leasing them, you got to be able to turn that over. Somebody got to hop onto that lease with the solar. But anyway, a lot of different talk tonight and crazy stuff. But let's go through our laptop travel list right here, our Jolie's Jams. Check out what's going on with our SPY and our big caps and everything else, and AIR Air right here, AAR Corp. And this one is getting set up, guys. Just a little bit of running up today, and looks like it was trying to run up there in the after hours is what it says. And yeah, it's not looking bad. I don't know if it's going to cross up there, but it did run up today. So let that get set back up. And again, a lot of them have to. This one's looking good. And I know because Spartan actually mentioned this one. He posted it, and I took a quick peek at it, and I said, oh, yeah, that does look pretty nice right there. ASST. And I know we've looked at it before, and it's run pretty big. And this one does look like it wants to get cruising. So keep an eye on good old ASST right there. And it does look like it wants an asset entity again. So I would look at that laptop travel and your 4 a.m. Warriors, because that looks like it could be cruising up in the morning. And BNZI right here, Banzia. And let's look at this one, just a little healthy pullback today. And it does have earnings coming up on Thursday. That seems to be a very popular day on Thursday for earnings. And we'll have to see what that wants to do. And BRLS, I believe it says, maybe not. Let me see. BRL something. I don't know what the heck. I think I wrote BR. Did I not type it in? BRLS. Oh, there you go. I didn't type it in right. That's why. Borealis Foods, and that actually looks good. Keep an eye on that for some momentum. BRLS. And yeah, I would say look at that one. That one could keep a little bit of momentum right there. And how about GPARK? And let's see what they're up to this evening. Geo Park, and that's crawling up to that MACD right there. GPRK, Geo Park, and let's see, it's just going to get set up right here. I don't know if it's exactly ready. It's pushing hard though, but I think it has a little bit of time, and then it will get running for that Geo Park. And I've never really looked at that, but it is another oil and gas one right there in Colombia. So I'll be having to watch that one. And ISPO right here was up a little bit. They have earnings, let me guess, on Thursday or tomorrow. It is tomorrow, so there is your earnings tomorrow. We'll have to see what it wants to do, ISPO. and we'll keep an eye on that. You know, I'm not the earnings master, that's for sure. And JSPR is Jasper Therapeutics. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to type in here. There we go, Jasper Therapeutics. And that had been pulling back right there. Might have a little, it's trying to roll off that MACD. I'd have to look at it tomorrow. That could be the bottom right there for good old Jasper. And LSH Lakeside Holding. Remember, this one had been running up a while back. Like, yeah, I was going to say, wasn't it in like the New Year area, but it was right before that around Christmas. I remember that bad boy had been running up quite a bit. And let's see this LSH right here, integrated freight and logistics. And that one does look like it's trying to roll up there. Look at that one for another day or two and see if it does want to get into that channel. NLSP right here is in that channel. We'll have to see if it wants to stay in there, and it'll get moving. And TLPH right there has earnings coming up as well on the 14th. So that's another Thursday one, and there are a ton of them. That's not looking bad for tomorrow at the moment, TLPH. So you can keep an eye on that and see if it wants to run up a little bit before the earnings. And there you go, it's your laptop travel list. And we will, and this is using our new scanner coding. So there you go, laptop travel, messing around with the scanner codes and always doing that. So I love it. And I'm always messing with mine and trying to change them up and try to make them better as well. So that's how you do get different results all the time. And yeah, I have all kinds of scanners set up right here, as you guys see, and you can just, I just cruise through them for a while during the daytime and just see like that one Erie. Remember we were looking at that the other day. Look at that thing, and oh yeah, it spiked up on Friday. That's right, and not looking bad. That was on the list the other day. And there's PM Philip Morris right there and run up. We'll see, that one could be run up. There's ES, that one's Eversource, but Uber's looking pretty good right there. And there you go. So yeah, definitely have fun with the scanners. And I have a couple of them. Let's see. Want me to ready? There's hold on. What the heck's going on there? Hold on. Why didn't? Of course, it doesn't want to work now. Hold on. What the heck's happened? Oh, stop. Oh, it's still scanning, I think. Yeah, look at that. I have all these made up right here. So all the ones with numbers right there I had set up right. And then these ones I think are for, nope, keep going. 800 into the 900s. And then that's crypto right there. So yeah, I have a bunch of them set up right on mine. And this is some crypto ones that we can take a look at. We'll let it scan and pull some crypto up. But there's GLM USD. And you know, I'm always looking at these things as well. And let's see, not many of them really set up. That Badger is right here trying to get rolling. So yeah, I just check them out as well and cruise around and look at the scanners and see what crypto is doing, the stock market, penny stocks, big caps, and everything in between. And we have a good old time. So there you go, at your laptop travel list. Let's look at our Jolie's Jams and look at Agrify right here as it was cruising up today. I did see it. And this one almost goes as a cannabis stock sometimes. It's been setting up. It did have that pullback right there. And now it looks like it wants to get cruising. So might want to keep an eye on Agrify right there. And Blink Charging, I think, could try to get set back up. It had been pulling back a lot. They have earnings coming up August 18th. So that is next Monday. So next Monday are earnings for Blink Charging. And we'll see what that wants to do, but it looks like it bottomed out right there, to be honest with you. And we'll see if that wants to move. Sezzle had been pulling back big time and a little more today. So we'll see if that's done pulling back and if it wants to get rolling. But that was a hell of a pullback. And Sterling right here is pulling back out the top. And it could pull back a little bit more right there. And how about Rivian trying to get set back up? It was way down. It's trying to curl up. I don't know if it's exactly ready yet, but it's trying to curl up right there. And good old Symbotic, and that one was down and looks like it's pulling back a little bit more. So we'll have to see if that one dips down harder. Nike looks like it's going to come down a little bit more at the moment. And DXYZ right here is pulling back, and it did have a nice dip. It looks like it's trying to hold itself up now, but that looked like it bottomed out there. And then look at today, nice dip on it, DXYZ. And so we'll have to look and see. I guess it was dipping in the after hours on Friday. And then it opened up today at 27.38, where to close at down there, 26.30. So yeah, it was pulling back on Fridays after hours, and then today it was kind of just holding itself stable. And we'll see down here if it's going to bounce off this trend line. So let's see what's going on down there and off your bottom on your RSI, and we'll look at that. And there you go with your Jolie's jams as well, and see what's happening with our rest of ours. SPY, big caps, Mag 7, everybody else. So here we go with our SPY. It was down $1.26, and look at this thing trying to set up for something. I don't know what the hell it's doing, but it is setting up. It could pop up and it could come down. Usually that setup means it wants to pop up, but you could see a little bit of pullback here. You don't really want to see it really come much lower than that 610 area. So we'll be watching it. And obviously we have our CPI tomorrow, PPI on Thursday. So we'll be keeping a close eye on them. And first, let's go through our Mag 7, see what's going on. Apple had pulled back. It wants to stay in the top right here, and it's still setting up. So even if it pulled back a little bit more, I think Apple's still going to be setting up right there, looking pretty good. So I think that one's pretty safe. How about Amazon right here, AMZN? And that was down a little bit, and another one getting set up. So I think you could have a little bit of pullback here. They could jump around, hold themselves up, but you're not going to be popping right now. There's other places to look for poppers. Google right here was jumping up. It's in the top. We'll have to see how that opens up tomorrow. It could roll off that MACD and try to run up a little bit, but we'll have to look at it. And here's that Meta just kind of staying stable right there. And another one has some time to get set up. It will run up into the 800s. Don't get me wrong. We're at 765, but it's just getting set up at the moment for Meta. And good old Microsoft right here. Our chandelier has been hanging on, and it obviously hit that resistance up there, pull back. It's staying above the 20, making some room right now. As you pull back down, let's see if it comes down to our 50. I'm not even sure if it will, guys. It was bouncing back up a little bit right there. And this thing is unbelievable, Microsoft. And again, they are just moving incredibly slow, but making a lot of room on the charts, which is beautiful, without really messing with the price action too much. So it's almost perfect pullback. Almost textbook, guys. And I'm telling you, you never see markets run like this ever. Maybe during the 99.com bubble. And like I said, we could be entering something like that very soon here. So that is Microsoft. And the video right here was down a little bit, but look how good that looks up at the top. So these things are super extended and they do not want to stop at all. It's crazy, guys. So Tesla right here, TSLA, and that thing ran up quite well today and looks like it wants to continue up. I don't know what the catalyst or what it was doing today, but it definitely was looking good going into today and it was moving. How about AMC running up there on its earnings a little bit? Not sure exactly. Look how slow that moved, guys. It ran up and barely even curled. You would have thought that would have hit the MACD right there, but it just didn't. And it did run up to that 346, though. And GameStop right here is just kind of hanging out. So, like I keep telling you guys, you can kind of chill out for a week or two. There's certain ones that you can trade, but a lot of these are getting set up. So just don't force them because they could pull back on you and get a way better price. So you might as well just keep your cash on hand and don't feel rushed or like you have to be trading. And like I said, there are good ones that are set up that, you know, you can get in and out of quite quickly because they're not staying up there very long at the moment. And there is Chewy hitting that 20 and they're kind of pulling back there. Let me just get a better look at CHWY. And there we go. Yeah, it was running up. It still looks pretty good. A little healthy pullback. Nothing crazy right there. And how about Unity just kind of pulling back a little bit? And it looks like it's going to pull back and it's setting up to run up. And good old Netflix right here and FLX. And this thing's getting set up to run up. So you can keep your eye on Netflix. That will be running up. And I know we use Netflix all the time and everybody uses Netflix. So that's why that one runs up. And like I said, we're canceling our cable there for Comcast. So I will keep it for internet. Their internet's pretty good. It always works for me, I guess, and I don't usually have any issues. And so there you go. And the only other option around here is Verizon, and that's really not that great. So I'll keep the Comcast. Anyway, AVGO, Broadcom right here, way at the top, and honestly, it looks like a coin flipper, and looks like to me, it. I mean, it almost looks like it wants to go down, but at the same time, it looks like it wants to kind of pop up into that top area. It really does look like a coin flip area. That one's an interesting one. You guys can tell. MU right here is looking pretty good. It was running up. We had like that going into today. We'll see if it can continue up tomorrow. Could have a little healthy pullback and then run up some more. TSM right here, just kind of holding itself. And again, it's setting up. These things could pull back. This is a beautiful setup, but at the same time, you're at below the MACD right there and trying to get set up. So it is up over to 20. It is a nice setup, but just be careful in these next week or two. You could see some pullback happen. SMCI right here, that super micro computer, that dipped on the earnings, and it has a little time to get set up. AMD dipped down a little bit right there. Let it pull back. But I think this thing's going to get set up and get blasted through the 200 area and then probably not look back right there. And remember, AMD and NVIDIA did cut that 15% deal with the government, and they're going to be paying them. So that one, AMD is easily making money. They're paying to play. It's like a franchise fee, and they're going to make out like bandits. So they already know they're going to make a ton of money, and it's going to be looking good. It's setting up to look good. So again, just let it pull back a little bit and catch it on the way up. And QCOM right here is trying to set up, not looking bad right there. I would say QCOM's actually looking pretty good to try to run right now. So keep an eye on that one. Good old Snowflake had been coming down pretty good. Has that support underneath of it. Could pull back a little bit more, trying to slow itself down, but keep your eye on Snow right there. And PayPal right here is trying to set up in a little bit of pullback. So again, this is why I'm telling you to just be patient in these 2 weeks, because they do look like they want to run, but at the same time, they could be pulling back. Intel does really look like it wants to run, though. I'm not going to lie. This one does look pretty set up to me. INTC, see if it gets through that MACD right there. But it does look pretty good that it wants to. And Dell isn't looking bad either right here, up 71 cents. And that thing looks like it could try to run up a little bit more for DELL. And how about IBM pulling back some more? Remember, we were talking about it. Just let them pull back. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So that's why you want to play them safe and not be jumping into these things too early. Palantir, this is exactly why we're just letting these things dip back down for these 2 weeks. And like I said, there's certain ones that were at the bottom curling up. They're good ones. Trade them real quick right there, like an Intel, and get in and out on it. So there's our Palantir right there, pulling back a little bit. Just let it pull back. And Sophie right here isn't looking bad, trying to curl up. Not sure if it gets through that MACD, but it's going to damn right try right there. We'll be watching it. It could, so watch it run up as it curls up. And Marin Riot, they're just getting set up right here, as you can tell. They're not completely ready yet either, as crypto's rolling up, so we'll be keeping an eye on them. And even CleanSpark right here, I think CleanSpark was up. No, it was down. They just had their earnings. When was it? The other day. And CleanSpark, maybe it's going to come back down into that trend line right there. For some reason, I did think it was up. It was up a little bit today at some point. And let's see, maybe a little more pullback, like I said, to that trend line. So we'll be looking at CleanSpark right there. And like I said, the miners, I'm telling you, they're just not as good opportunities as a lot of other things. And we were talking about that one other day, or maybe 2 other times on here. And here's MicroStrategy. This one obviously is not a miner. He just has like the most Bitcoin ever. And MicroStrategy is looking pretty good right there and does want to get cruising. So you do want to keep an eye on that as crypto's running up. Robinhood setting up could have a little bit of pullback right there as it gets set up in the next week or two. In Coinbase, this one's setting up to run up there and looking pretty good at the moment, has a lot of space. And Webull right there is getting set up as well and has been way down trying to run up. But again, just watch for the best price action right here as they pull back a little bit. And space right now coming back down. It's hitting below that trend line, and you have another support line right there, about 250. And we'll see how far space wants to come down right there. And that is your SPCE. And Boeing right here is down and pulling back. And that one looks like it wants to come back down to about the 50. So you do have some pullback here. DJT trying to get set up. And like we said, Funware will get set up when DJT gets set up. And so just let that pull back right there. McDonald's MCD, a little bit of pullback. Looks like it will be coming back to that MACD line to roll off and even possibly to 20 and 50 right there. And Disney right here. That one's an interesting look right there. Luis Rodriguez could try to bottom out. It is trying to roll right there. I'd have to look at that tomorrow. That is definitely an interesting one right there. And how about your Oxy OXY? What the heck am I typing in? OXY right there, down a little bit. This thing's trying to get set up. Look at it trying to curl up, going a little flat. Even if it comes down, guys, I'm telling you, it will get set back up. And we'll get cruising relatively soon. And ExxonMobil pulling back to that trend line right there and that support line to get set up. And I'm telling you, they're making a lot of room on the charts and they'll get ripping. So that is what it looks like right there in the market. And let me go through and see what you guys are talking about besides the illegal Fire Stick cable TV. Chris and movie boxes are too jank, and they work for 6 months and something always stops working. I agree. We used to have a couple of them, Chris, and then it seems like you got to constantly jailbreak it or whatever the hell it's called. I forget what they call it. But anyway, that was pretty cool there for a while, but then it became a hassle and a pain. So yeah, I'm telling you, just get like the streaming services, and that's all you kind of need. You really don't need cable. We were talking about that. I was taking back my cable boxes, and because we don't ever watch it. So, and AMC barely flinched on earnings. You're not kidding. FAAS, Digi Asia right there ran 25% pre-market on Nothing Burger. BS news drop. Any real news or catalyst that thing could go? And let's look at Digi Asia, FAAS right there. Digi Asia right now. And you're right, it did pop up, hit that 20, and it is just kind of getting set up. So that one is not doing a whole lot right there. MX, what is that one? Let's see, MX right here, magnet chip, and that is a semiconductor one. Did run up, and that one does have a little bit of time to set up at the moment. There's your blue screen, and let's see. Yeah, it just kind of ran around today, but it does have a little bit of time to set up. And it reminded me of MXC because we had looked at this Mexico Energy. And let's see what that's up to, because that does not look bad right there. Another oil and gas, MXC. And you guys remember, I put one of them shows on. It's the best. I mean, that is so funny, that show. That's what I would watch. If I needed to watch TV, I'll just go on YouTube and put an episode of MXC on, and just there's a good half hour right there for me. And I did pop one on before, and we sat there and watched it. And that show is crazy from back in the day. But anyway, that's MX and MXC right there. And let me see. If you live off the grid in the middle of nowhere to live cheap and you become enemy of the state, all the savings you just spent in blood, sweat, car maintenance, commute, time, gas, they got it all figured out. You're not kidding, Chris. It's crazy. And there you go. And we averaged 40% gains right there in our Discord today. So how impressive is that, guys? I mean, we're always killing it in there anyway. And I'm telling you, Laptop Travel's been murdering at 4 a.m. Luis Rodriguez, a lot of great input. I've been hitting the night note and telling you what the market's going to do. And like I said, I'm just kind of enjoying the last 2 weeks of summer here. And then we're really going to get into some crazy trading. So I just been kind of trading real lightly right now. As I told you, just kind of let things set up and get ready. There's a couple good setups that you can play right here. That Philip Morris was an easy 1 p.m. didn't go crazy, but it ran up enough where it moved. And from about what 164 to 170, good enough, right? And so yeah, just look for the easy ones like that. And again, we got to look and see what that PPI, CPI are going to do tomorrow and Thursday, and that good stuff. So let's see what else is going on right here. I think we were looking at all that. I think I kind of went through all that, and if I missed anybody, laptop travels news newsletter articles, all the Trump stocks. So the list is mind-boggling, he said. And so yeah, we'll definitely keep you posted on that. And the next I can't see. Scheduled speaking engagement for Federal Reserve Chair Powell is his keynote address at the Jackson Hole Economic Policy. When the heck is that? Hosted by Federal Reserve Bank of KC, and that is set for Friday, August 22nd. So I guess that's the next time he's speaking, and that is, like you said, next Friday, or not this Friday, but the next one. So that looks like that's the next one. MU raised their earnings forecast, and Circle reports tomorrow morning and could rocket off of that news. So let's look at CRCL right here, and let's see earnings right there. And yeah, Circle looking good right there. I have to agree with you. Laptop Travel, or Luis Rodriguez said that. That is looking good. PCG, did we look at that one? I forget. And that is PG&E right there. And that one's is that PSE&G? No, I don't think it is. Anyway, it's a regulated electric. It could be something close to them, but I don't think it's them. And there you go. That thing looks like it's about to crawl right up into the top right there. So PCG and ORIS can rip again. Needs to find bottom. Acquisition of two China tea companies. Catalyst can send it for ORIS. And let's see if I got to everything. Pico did the same stuff. Oh, Pico in Philly, Joe P. They doubled your energy bill too. The Pico power play right there. Here's your Pico. I don't know if this is actually it. Nah, that's definitely not it. But anyway, Pico is a energy company in Philly. I know that because they sponsor the Flyers and have the Pico power play. But anyway, they raised your bill, Joe P. I'm telling you, it's absolutely insane right now. How about his home insurance in Utah is insane, Lewis. And yeah, New Jersey, it's crazy. California couldn't even get it at one point. We were talking about all that a little bit ago. So pretty wild. And it was pretty crazy. Let's see what else is going on. Just trying to see if I missed anything right here. We were talking about my $800 electric bill, and it's pretty wild. I'm not gonna lie, it doubled in a month, so pretty crazy stuff. And let's see MBLYJ, and let's see what Mobile he's doing right there. And Mobile Eye right here, whatever you say, Mobile Eye. And this one is trying to get set up. Don't they just had their earnings right there? An auto part company, MBLY, and it's not looking bad. I would say that one looks like it's trying to get set up. I'm gonna add that down here to keep an eye on. I do like that look right there. Jay, not looking too bad, I must say, and no problem. And yeah, that's not looking too bad, I must say. You might get a little bit of pullback, and like I said, it's just kind of setting up your 20s up there, and so it might get a little bit of time. And again, the whole entire market almost looks like that, for except for a few of them. And you can see it's trying to bottom out right here. That's usually a pretty decent look, but I don't know if it'll get through immediately right there. You're going to have to get that curl up. And again, even if it curls up right there and comes down a little bit, it should be the last of it and get set up. So that's what it looks like at the moment for MBLY right there, Jay. And let me see what else is going on. Why did I do that? Shit. What the fuck did I just do? God damn it. I just hit something on X and I just had some screen say, I don't even know what it was saying, but it was saying that I had to hit got it. I never even seen it, and I was just trying to read it real quick. And let's see. King Trump said his girlfriend has a JCPL in Monmouth County, and her bill is less than 200. And they have the AC on right now. I don't know what's JCPL, so you don't have PSE&G, so you're lucky right there. King Trump, lucky you. I'll take that bill any day. And but yeah, I'm not sure what JCPL even is, but I would take that any day of the week because PSE&G is insane right now. And what Trump's NVIDIA and AMD China deal means for the world. NVIDIA and AMD have agreed to pay 15% of revenues from chip sales to China to the U.S. government, the White House confirmed. Analysts said the deal is still positive for both AMD and NVIDIA as they get access to a huge market and all that good stuff right there. So pretty interesting. And like I said, an extension for 90 days to China for the tariffs. We heard that at the beginning of the show as well. And let's see what else is going on over here. MXC looks like a potential rocket if any oil bull run starts going. That's going on your watch list right there. Yeah, MXC. It's a great show, Chris, and also it's a good stock. That's why I popped it up there, and it does look like it has some potential. And I'm telling you, something's going on with that oil and gas sector. I just don't know what the heck it is, and we'll figure it out. And let's see what else we're missing here besides crypto. I'll tell you what's going on. I even have the gold, silver prices, everything now on my stock cube. It's awesome. I just sit there and check it out. I even put some of the SPY and a couple of the Mag 7. So when I come down, I can just literally see exactly what's going on. It even has the date and the time. It's money. So I had to I reprogrammed it basically and just kind of added some stuff there. But anyway, here we go. I'll just hop on crypto, take a look at it. I was already looking at it. It was kind of red like that, but not looking bad as Bitcoin is at 119 right now and a little healthy pullback. And you can see it's a little healthy pullback, nothing crazy right there. There's your Ethereum down a little bit. It's still at 4,200. It's still on the top right there and wants to get ripping. I mean, they're not looking bad. A little bit of pullback can happen. Solana, a little bit of pullback right there. And obviously just kind of curling up and then coming back down. They can get still curled right back up there with no problem in the morning. And there's your Ripple coming down to the 20. So, and that one never even curled through yet. I've been watching that to see if it wants to. Cardano has that same look, kind of pulling back to the 20 and hitting the MACD right there. Here's XLM, that's called Stellar, and this thing's just kind of hanging out, hitting the MACD right there. So again, could we have a little bit of pullback just like the regular market? We could. You can see Chainlink got up to that 21, had some big run up. Could have a little bit of pullback right there and then get cruising. So nothing crazy, as you can tell. And again, the next 2 weeks could be a little bit of pullback, a little bit slow, and that's where I'm taking it in stride and just taking the best opportunities and getting in and out of them real quick. And let's see if we see anything else going on over here. And let's take a look. And there's your Wang and Lee right there. That was cruising up today, looking pretty good. ENTO has jumped up. And like I said, Tilray, GIBO, we went over, and there's Intel looking pretty good. There's your semiconductor bear right there. And let's take a look at SOXS and see what it looks like at the moment. I mean, it doesn't look that. It does look like it's trying to curl up, but it doesn't. I have to look at it tomorrow. It's getting to be in that spot where it could run up a little bit, and it's not going to be too crazy. Let's look at our SOXL, and that's our semiconductor bull right here, because that looks like it's trying to set up, but not quite want to get through the MACD yet and have a little pullback. So they both have that weird look right there. I'll keep an eye on them tomorrow. And there's our BMNR and Open Door. NVIDIA and BBAI took a nice dip in the after hours. I think they missed their earnings or something. It was definitely pulling back, as you can see, and did take a dip in the earnings. So there you go for the big bear. And LCID, good old Lucid's way down there. Soundhound was jumping up. SBET setting up. And there's your Canopy Growth right there. IOBT was running up this morning. And let's see what else is happening. That IXHL trying to get set up. It's just not ready yet. And let me see if anything's happening on this side real quick. Let me take a quick look. That GMHS, that game house we were looking at this morning was on the Jolie's Jumpers, and Ugro right there was growing. Today, that BJDX, remember the Blue Jay? I said that I wanted to fly last night. and that was not looking bad. And there you go, that was flying up. AUD was another one we had been looking at, and it jumped up there. And there's that wearable devices just kind of pulling back a little bit at the moment. And this MLNK was jumping up. I didn't even see that one, but there you go. TC, the token cat. I think I have to sneeze. Maybe not. I'll just work through it anyway. Thought I had to sneeze, but whatever. I don't have time to wait around and have to sneeze. So here we go. Let's look. TC right there is pretty cool. Too cool. Token cat. And it's a China one was running up there. HURA had been running up as well. And here's MAYA. Good old Maya. Hold on. I just opened up the wrong thing. Right here. That may help. And there we go. There's our Maya right there. That's a fairly new one, a shell company. I'm not sure what they do. It opened up around the 9s, and right now it's in the 10s, and we'll have to see this one get set up. So there you go with MAYA, and that is Maya. We'll see that one get set up right there, and let's see what else is going on. Our ETF was at 1.1. We'll have to see if that gets set up soon. To run, and how are you, Filtrate? And let's see, do I think AREC will bounce back up or pull back throughout the week? Let's take a quick look at it. Let's see, AREC right here, and it was up, and I mean, it's a little bit flat right there, Phil. It's a hard one to tell. To be completely honest with you, it doesn't look too bad, but I do think you could get a little healthy pullback, and then yeah, it could easily bounce right back up. You do have some good support lines right there, 152, and another one at 140, and it is trying to make its way into the top. I just think it's taking its time and not exactly cruising along like real fast speed. So, and that's most of them right now are just kind of cruising along real slow in the charts, so it's hard to exactly tell, but they are making room, that's for sure. And we'll see, this one could have a little pullback and then run up right there. So that is what it looks like, and that's what our market looks like. Our SPY, big caps, mag 7, crypto, everybody else, and all of our messages right there, and even our PSE and G bill in New Jersey. So we went through all that good stuff, and then and I think a little bit more probably. So I'd say that's a pretty good market review right there, and a good little PSE and G gas and electric story time, because that's insane. I'm not going to lie. And all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're not following along on YouTube and X, be sure to follow along on X and YouTube, or YouTube and X. And also follow along on Instagram, because I'm going to start doing some good stuff on there as well. So yeah, I'm going to start really cranking it up a little bit. And like I said, we'll really get into the trading into the Discord. I've been just trying to mess around, do a couple things as the summer's ending and getting things set up. So we're really going to get wild. And like I said, I'll be working around the clock nonstop. You guys know that. We'll be doing the shows, the Discord, everything will be going nutty, and the markets will be going crazy. So it'll be a lot of fun. And thank you, Filtrate, for hanging out. Always greatly appreciate it. And Chris and Jay and everybody else, Laptop Travel and Luis Rodriguez, and who else was on here posting some stuff. There were some people at the top like Lewis in Utah and Joe P. And let me see, Chris Bait, and I think I got to everybody. And if I missed anybody, Cadence and Doge Mama 9 and everybody else that hangs out all the time, I always appreciate it. So any questions, hit me up on X, you know that. And we'll cut out a little bit early this evening. It's only before 10:30 here. And you know we'll be back at 7 a.m. for our pre-market. And I'll go ahead and put the night note up in the Discord. And any questions, shoot a message to me. Like I said on X, I will respond. And there you go. I would say that's a fun little nighttime review of the market. And we'll see what's going to happen in the morning. And obviously, we'll be keeping an eye on that PPI or the CPIs tomorrow. The PPIs on Thursday. So we'll be keeping an eye on the CPI in the morning, see what that comes in like. And Trump did push the tariffs back 90 days for China, and then he's looking at cannabis to reschedule and do that. So all kinds of good stuff right there. So have a good night, Doge Mama 9 and Luis Rodriguez. You're on the Instagram, so everybody else, be sure to hop on there and follow along on there, because I'm definitely going to start posting a lot more content and other stuff that's not on the other social media, because I'm going to start using the reels and things for other cool stuff and some pics and things of that nature. So there you go, everybody. Thanks again for hanging out. I will catch you guys at 7 a.m. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Have a good night, everybody.